My goal in today's video is to present the argument that if you are a person who puts out effort, trying as hard as you can to get to where you're going, my argument is that effort is not your problem. You do not need to put more effort out in order to accomplish whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. And in my world, in this YouTube world, my goal is to help Christian women do their kingdom calling, their God-given work, their life's purpose, whatever it is that is on their heart to do for the kingdom of God, to do for King Jesus. I am here to help you accomplish that. So today we're going to be talking about effort. And this is for the one who you might be looking back on months or years, possibly a decade or decades. There's a good chance you're looking back on decades, because if you've been stuck in the past and you still are stuck, you're probably someone who you've been working really hard to do what you're trying to do and you're putting out a ton of effort. So I think honestly that effort is not the problem. Let's talk about that. Whether your goal is to accomplish your God-given purpose, or it is to have a clean home, or whatever goal in the world you may possibly have, effort is not enough. So instead, I want you to look at, and this might be one of the pieces to your puzzle, but the thing that has just become really obvious to me in my own journey, and the thing that has become really obvious to me in my own journey is that I spent a decade of putting effort out trying to get some kind of small business off the ground and was not able to. And then when I had a decade under my belt, which really, really, really sucks. If you've been there, you know how much that just sucks to look back and have a bunch of wasted time. But thankfully, God is really good at redeeming wasted time, which is not what we're talking about. We're talking about when I look back over the 10 years of my life, I could see where I am putting out a ton of effort and getting nowhere. And what I realized was that, if I summarize it like this, like let's say there were 10 pieces or 10 steps that I needed to take towards the goal of having a small business, then when I look back, I could see I would take, I would go from steps 1 to 7 or 8, and I would do those really, really well. And then I would get stuck or scared or paralyzed just emotionally, where I was terrified of whatever steps 9 and 10 were. And then I would go back to the drawing board, figure something else out, and do steps 1 through 8 again. And then I would keep on doing this cycle. I didn't realize I was doing this cycle, but I would keep on doing this cycle. And then I would be super frustrated that I wasn't getting the results that I wanted, because I'm putting out all this effort. So if that's you, you know what it's like. And so I just want you to start to, let go of maybe you don't have to keep on putting out effort. Instead, let's see what are the pieces that you are missing in your puzzle. So talking about a puzzle, it's a ridiculous picture because nobody would do this with a puzzle, but when I'm looking back on my 10 years, I can see how it looks as crazy as if I would take 100-piece puzzle and I keep 80 pieces, those are the ones I'm going to puzzle with, and 20 I'm just going to put in a bag and put in the closet, and I'm going to faithfully do these 80 pieces out of the 100-piece puzzle. And once I get to 80, I look at it and I'm frustrated. Why isn't this puzzle completed? And so then instead of grabbing the other 20 pieces, I tear apart the puzzle and redo the puzzle all over again. Not that I've actually ever done this, because that would be really dumb to do. But that is what we sometimes get caught up doing in our life, where we instead of stepping back and saying, hey, I need to go grab these other 20 pieces, we just keep going, we tear the puzzle apart and we go back to the drawing board in some way, and then we start all over again. We get to, where 80 pieces are done, and then we, instead of going and finding the pieces and finishing the puzzle, we go back. And it's ridiculous when you see that with something as simple, like as obvious as a puzzle, and yet we do that in our own lives, where we're trying to we're putting work out, but not ever stepping back to actually ask the question of, what am I missing? Like, what are the pieces to my puzzle that I am missing? And so a big part of this is that, when you look at what you are doing You are just simply, you are good at what you're good at, and you are terrible at what you are terrible at. And you need to learn to get good at the things you are currently terrible at. And those things, whatever those are for you, when you look at, like, for me, it was I wanted to get some kind of small business off the ground. And we okay, so my thing was I would come up with some kind of idea, and then I would buy the course, I would do the work, I would create the stuff, and then I would get to the point where my steps 9 and 10 that I got terrified at doing was to get whatever I was selling or offering in front of real people. That made me sick to my stomach, and I wouldn't intentionally avoid it. I would just like conveniently avoid it and always find something else to do, to the point where I would get I don't even know exactly how this would happen. I would just somehow kind of think, well, that didn't work. So then I would go and think of something else that I could make and sell, or that I could do and sell. And then so I would just keep on going through this cycle until, oh man, like it was just in so many different ways. I was on repeat in my life. And then until this YouTube channel. This has been the most successful thing that I've finally been able to do, where I'm consistently doing it, because this is me getting in front of real people. And on that note, this is a really great spot for me to offer the 5-day free mini course. Every single time I say this a little bit mixed up. So it's a Step of Faith, Step of Faith free 5-day mini course. That is you can grab it in the link below or sign up for it in the link below. And it is a simple 5-day mini course that is going to walk you through how to take your first successful step in the direction that you want to be going. It's going to help you deal with some mindset stuff, as well as figure out what action you need to be taking, and then take it. Because sometimes that first step is the hardest. And so if you could just take that first step, it's likely going to have a wonderful effect on you, your life, and your kingdom work. Now that I've successfully forgotten where I was, I think I was talking about the 100-piece puzzle, only doing 80 pieces on repeat. And the key to that, again, like the trap that most of us get stuck in, is let's just do it again, do it again, do it again in one way, shape, or form. And so the key is to step back and ask a question, what am I missing? In which case, with the puzzle, obviously you're missing the last 20 pieces. But in your life, you want to start asking the question, like, what am I missing? What are the pieces to this big picture that I'm missing? It's probably not something big and huge. It's probably something obvious that you know what you need to do, and it's uncomfortable, it's scary. But if you can learn the skill to do it and just apply yourself to doing those one or two things, then, and it could help to do this on a piece of paper, where you look at, okay, where are you now? Where do you want to end up? And what are those things that you need to do in order to get there? And it might be kind of, big picture, one-time steps you need to take in order to get there, or it might be something on repeat. Like for my videos, I've got to make a video every week kind of thing. But there are certain steps that I know, there's a lot of busy work things I could do that it would feel like I'm getting somewhere, but I know from experience that is just busy work. So it's helpful for me to know, okay, I know what those things are. Don't get stuck in the busy trap. But instead, I know that if I do, these 4 to 5 things every week, then I'm going to have a successful YouTube channel. So for you, what are those things that you need to be doing? Either maybe it's a one-time thing that you just have to apply yourself and work through and do, or is it something that you need to be doing on repeat, and apply yourself to figure out what is it that you need to be doing to accomplish your life's work. So in summary, figure out what it is that you need to figure out and get good at in order to succeed at what you're wanting to do. Instead of putting out a ton of effort and getting lost in the busyness trap, get strategic with your time and your energy, because you might find that whatever you're doing right now that's giving you the illusion of success is causing you to spin your wheels in busy work for hours upon hours a day. Whereas when you get strategic and you start to put your effort in the right direction, it might only take 5 to 10 minutes a day, maybe half an hour or an hour a day, or maybe, a couple hours every week. But those few hours or those few minutes every day or every week actually enables you to move farther and faster than you were when you were stuck in the busyness trap. It's an incredible, wonderful exchange once you figure out how to just stop what you're doing, step back, figure out what's going on, and then put your effort in the right direction and move really smoothly and well in that direction. And that brings me to my challenge for you, which is to do nothing until you figure out how to do the right thing. So stop the busyness dead in its tracks. Whatever you do that you know that you're doing, it's like, yeah, I'm doing this thing because it makes me feel like I'm getting somewhere, but I know it's getting me nowhere. Stop doing whatever that thing is that you're doing, that busyness trap thing, until and just stay in that, like, just force yourself to stop until you figure out how to do the right thing, because that right thing is probably going to be a little bit uncomfortable, a little bit scary, a little bit new, a little bit weird. It's going to make you possibly feel like a failure the first few times that you try to do whatever that is for you in your specific journey. It's not going to be a comfortable process until you get good at it. And then once you have all those pieces to your puzzle and it's like, let's say you've got 10 steps or 10 major things or pieces, or however you want to say it. Now I'm just like getting sloppy in what I'm saying. But let's say once you have all the pieces to your puzzle, you're going to get to where you're going and it's going to succeed, but you need to figure out what is it that you're missing. So stop whatever you're doing, stop the busyness work until you figure out how to do the right thing, and enjoy the results.